as opposed to Harbor, which was a 5-1 and ended in a 5-2. But HIVE, you know, despite those struggles, losing 2 rounds regardless, they still were able to get that victory. So, hey, it seems as if I'm seeing a trend already in these 2 series. Maybe HIVE is going to favor Foundation quite a bit, especially even if they do qualify for Pro League. I think that could be one of their bread and butter maps. Still very early to say, but it is a possibility. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Look, both teams are very, very familiar when it comes to the playstyles, I think, of each roster, and more importantly, on this very map. So it's going to be a close one. TJ Doe's going to take that advanced position, already being challenged by Exploits up ahead. Bit of a good movement, tries to go in for the knife, gets the whiff, but Exploits is there to clean up the competition. Dyslexic gets the final say on B, and Solars is last up for HIVE.
Solars is caught in no man's land. Look at that, already rotating over. Fearsley's going to try to put the pressure on that home hill. Solars is going to try to stop the over-rotation from anybody trying to get that extra angle in. Noe is going to be able to get some shots on, but he's not going to get a down or a kill, and it looks like Fire and Ice are trying to shut this down quick, fast, and in a hurry. A couple of dead back-to-back-to-back, 2 wave wipes, and they are already capping up that triple cap domination. 50 seconds. Yeah. So one of the things we got to see right there, Fire and Ice stacking up toward the train tracks. They put the pressure on TJ. They get those first 2 kills, and that gives them the momentum going forward. Let's see if HIVE can do the same thing. Let's see if they make an adjustment or if they try to come right back to it like the basics.
The star players there on that tracks fight was definitely Exploits, right? Getting that 2-piece, Dyslexic, the follow-up, get the final, stay on B, and get the capture on tracks to allow the rest of the teammates to go forward, get into gallery, and get that capture. We are switching sides. Boltox are going to be out. So what we've been seeing, especially if you're just joining us, Boltox and Talon's normally going to come out. We'll see then the retro come into play, and after that, usually a long shot, drop shot. We've only seen a long shot at this point in time, long shot and drop shot. So curious to see when we'll see a torque bow, I doubt, on this very map. But regardless, though, let's see if TJ doesn't whip the knife this time, right? He's going to actually stay back. He's not wanting to be as aggressive as before. We see this from time to time, especially if one side loses dramatically. They'll take their time and kind of fill out what F&I is going to be throwing their way. So HIVE, already mid-game adjustments. How well is it going for them? Let's find out.
I like that. The flash comes out. Inzem has to roll back and try to protect himself. But once again, HIVE gets a little greedy down on the tracks. They put Inzem into a bad spot. That leads to a 4-man wipe. Noe's already back off of respawn, trying to get in there and save something, but he's shut down. Triple cap domination is going to tick through. Nobody's going to get there. That's going to be maybe a minute, 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Not even a minute 30. Holy crap, no, holy 47. I felt like I was watching TJ try to shoot a Boltox for at least a minute of my life.
It does seem like it goes forever. Inzem, the only one with a kill. That is rough. Now, granted, you know, respawns no longer really a factor, other than, of course, you don't want 3 or 4 members to go down at a time. But regardless, though, you continually respawn back in. That's why we're seeing a lot of deaths. I think 1 member on HIVE at this point has 3 for sure. I think might have even seen a number 4. But regardless, though, HIVE, you got to wake up. We got to figure out something. Retro's down. We got the talent for HIVE. We have a retro for F&I. And I've got to favor the retro. So Dyslexic, he's going to have that advantage.
Here we go, TJ trying to get the angle there on Dyslexic, but Dyslexic has played this train tracks fight, I mean, absolutely perfect. He's been forcing Inzem into bad positions. He's been making him make decisions maybe later on than he'd like to. A lot of shots onto him, but again, Dyslexic just backs right on up. He's got Lancer, or he's got Retro Lancer, so he's got a lot of extra firepower in the gut. Hits 1 shot there on Inzem, trying to take that angle, trying to hit him in the shoulder, not gonna be able to get anything yet. Here comes the up A's. They're gonna try to go for the back A now. They rotate 2 people back down into the fight of Beast. Now you got a 3v3 breaking out of the train tracks. Finally, a down comes out. It's in favor of HIVE. They've got a 3v1 on Dyslexic, and all he's got is the retro. You better make sure you get a down and a kill on him before he gets anybody else. Thank goodness gracious, because giving up a kill down there in a 3v1 would have been bad news.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? It wouldn't have been uncharacteristic of Dyslexic. Let's not forget split 1. He would pull off plays like that pretty much on the regular. Granted, he did slow down towards the end of the split, specifically after that update, right? When things kind of changed a little bit. Dyslexic wasn't the same, but it's nice to see him in these, you know, these 2 rounds now in round number 3, kind of looking like the old Dyslexic that we kind of got accustomed to seeing, right, quite frankly, during the earlier portions, mid portions, and even towards the later portions of split number 1. Regardless, HIVE has put themselves in a great position. Got about a 50-60 point lead. And it doesn't look like they're going to be giving that up anytime soon. FNI is trying to figure out an angle, and the play seems to be here onto Streets as they're going to try and push back TJ.
I want to see what TJ does up at the entrance. He's got that right-hand advantage up here, so he's going to be able to lance her out. He's going to be able to hold anybody off that tries to push up onto him. 2-to-1 hill advantage in favor of HIVE. Down to 30 seconds. They're going to have to flash out, maybe move in, go for some decaps and a retake here on the B hill pretty safely and securely. Flashes out, returned by Noe, and you see TJ trying to push against Fiercely. Fiercely backs all the way up to that left-hand angle. 2 little fakey slides in. TJ finally takes the L trigger out, and it baits Noe into a 2v1 and gets Noe killed top street. That's going to open the street wide up. That entrance fight is going to be big time now. Enzem has to get a down or a kill here. He gets 2.
Nice.
Here comes Exploits going for that decap. 2 shots in and 2 shots down. Good job. That's going to be a defensive stand and a hold, along with the retake over there at the C hill. They don't really need it, but the extra hill is just going to make things go that much quicker. It looks like we're going to have ourselves 2-to-1 going into the 4th round. That got sticky quick.
100%, man. But, you know, Enzem popped off, didn't he? He pulled off really well. You know, it was funny. I was kind of taking a look at the overall minimap and how it was developing. And I was kind of seeing, like, how are they playing this new 4v4 style? And it's interesting because I'm constantly seeing the same 2 players stick together and go for pushes, right? And I think that's going to be something we're going to see a lot more often. 2 players will stick together, kind of be the duo, if you will. For the side of FNI, it's very plain to see that it's Dyslexic and Exploits. I mean, they are playing so very well together. And then whenever it, of course, goes over towards HIVE, it's Enzem and really TJ, right? They kind of just stick together, and it makes sense, too, given the fact that first series versus Godsman, they were the ones popping off on Harbor. They were the ones who were up there in the stat line in the overall KDA. So I'm very curious to see if these duos are going to continue to stay put. Already seeing on FNI, Exploits, Dyslexic, they're together. They're going to be challenging players 2 and 5. That's going to be TJ and Enzem. On the opposite end, of course, you've got the other 2 from each roster. Much better fight for HIVE, though, on Trax. I dare to say this is the first time they've won that Trax fight.
They won it last round, but it was by the skin of their teeth. This time, they press up through the smoke. They get that little extra angle. TJ hit a Boltok headshot from the Trax up to entrance. Oh, my God. Wow. Like, I'm losing it over here. My man had a 6-shooter looking like Wild Bill Hickok, looking like Billy the Kid, looking like Wyatt Earp. My man said, let me get it high and noon out here, baby. I'm going to take some skulls.
Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. TJ is insane. 5 rounds still in the Boltok, and well, you never know when he's going to hit a headshot. He's going to back off, knowing FNI is going to try and push the back on the Tracks, and that is going to be, of course, Exploits and Fiercely. So Fiercely joining into the mix now to duo it up with Exploits. That's a beautiful shot. TJ downs Fiercely. That's now going to isolate player number 7 by the name of Exploits by himself, who better keep his head down. 6 shooters there. 2 shots are connected. He's 1 into him.
Yeah, did one
He's
pellet.
going to be there for the cleanup, and like you said, man, it was just 1 pellet. Great stuff for HIVE. They're really starting to come into their own. They're adjusting well, and FNI struggling to figure out what they need to do against them.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Taylor. Dick Cheney hit more of his hunting buddy's face with that misfire than TJ just hit right there.
Out of control.
I mean, he hit him with 1 pellet from about 250 feet. My man barely snipped him, and he said, "I'm still getting that down. Don't worry, it's going in the stat book, baby." Good Lord.
Oh my goodness, the references are insane. Hey, look at this lead from HIVE. You know, FNI is going to have to do something dramatic and desperate in order to take this round. At this point in time, they've got to get on all 3 hills. They know this, and, well, it didn't go well for Dyslexic. I don't blame him, though. Dyslexic was doing exactly what he needed to do. He needed to get desperate. He needed to push forward, and with respawns no longer being a factor, he could afford to do so. But this round is pretty much over, especially with Exploits kind of being the last factor there to get the break on the B. HIVE regains it, double trains moves in, and that's going to be GG. Looks like we're going into the second half, all tied up 2-2.
Yeah, it's going to be a great another round from HIVE, and I can't say it enough. Those are those adjustments. Now Fire and Ice has to answer. They've got to figure out what it was that HIVE has started to do that has really put them in the lead and in control. And I can go ahead and tell you, one of the things they've started to do is say, hey, TJ, you want to get about 8 downs real quick for us? And he said, yeah, buddy, let me start using that Boltok a little bit more. And he said, oh, I got a headshot. That ain't a down. That's going in the kill column. Oh, there's a down over there. Let me get that one too.
Woo, I like it, man. This is the closest series, or I should say the closest map we've had as of yet. Shock's on one end. I like that. So for the boys on F&I, they are going to have that Bull Talk. They're going to have the Incense. On the opposite end, though,
Good to be
this side of
back.
HIVE, they'll have the Bull Talk and the Shock. Shock, I think, could be much more beneficial for shutting down, or at least getting the first touch on the E. We'll see how it plays out. Right now, they're neck and neck in terms of the overall scoreline, because both of the home wheels are captured, so no one's really going to have that 1-point lead. Shock is out, exploits on all fours, and HIVE slowly moving forward. And again, that Shock comes into play, and HIVE is able to get the neutral relatively with ease.
HIVE's going to be set up here. Burn comes out onto TJ, so that's going to open things up for Fire and Ice. If they want to push in, they have a 4 versus 3. They should be able to clean up some more of these kills. Noe's down, but you see the Lancer Fire trying to get an extra down or two here. Solars is going to hit a lot of shots, but it's not going to be enough to convert any kills. And you see 3 members of HIVE, or excuse me, you see 3 members of Fire and Ice stacked up top in the entrance, getting that cap there on E. Inzem's trying to be a sneaky beaver going through entrance. He's trying to get this extra lane here. Inzem's got the Voltok in hand. He's going to be full red, though. He's going to have to back off. This next push is going to be a little disgusting, because you're going to have to fly in with no real utility and no real help and try to get some of these kills. And Tody catches himself 1.
No worries for Tody. He pushes in confidently, gets that kill. TJ now goes into the cut, trying to get anything he can. As Dyslexic falls, though, Tody now is going to be isolated, but no worries, as Fiercely pushes right through, dances all over Inzem, and finally picks him up to put him out of his misery. And Fire and Ice will regain control. He looks solid. Player 3, though, is going to be Noe. Looks as if he might challenge on the tracks. I was just about to say, no one is on tracks position. All 4 members from either team was putting all their eggs in one basket, and that was for that fight onto E. But at this point in time, it seems as if there's going to be some attention down low. A good defensive reaction from F&I, but a lot of utility out. HIVE off to the races. They're looking to lock it. No, TJ, oh, he actually got the kill. I thought he was going to do a little bit of a misinput, but it works out for the best.
Hey, look, sometimes a little hop and a drop and a stop will help you get a kill, and TJ was able to come away with one. The planted flash goes off in TJ's face, and he says, let me just ride over here and try to get a decap at the home hill of Fire and Ice. Because they didn't know that they were going to have the wing condition, but they know now. But Beardsley said, I've got a straight hallway and an assault rifle, and I'm going to try to put about 100 bullets into you. He gets it down, but no kills. But if both of these members of HIVE are stuck in no man's land, finally the kills come through. 2v3 on the map. Solars has to come away with a kill right here to try to slow this progression up. All he's doing is playing defensively. He's trying to make sure they can't just ride into the hill and get a quick decap. They do it anyway, and there goes the 2-1 hill advantage back in favor of Fire and Ice. So it looks like we're going to see ourselves a 3-2 round count.
That's going to be it. Fire and Ice will take this round. That fight for E was just kind of it. You mentioned HIVE kind of putting themselves in no man's land, but it was a great attempt, and that was a good instant from Exploit, who hasn't slowed down since the beginning. 3-2, F&I regains control. I got a bit worried after losing rounds 3 and 4. I'm not going to lie. HIVE was looking solid, but hey, it's a new half, a new me, and it seems as if right now F&I will be leading the charge. Let's see where the weapons go from here, Colin.
Voltok, they're going to hover over. What exactly are you going to do? There we go. Retro Lancer over to Voltok. TJ, I'm not sure if you're going to upgrade to Ensign from that. Now you're going to go to Retro. I was going to say, one of the things that I was liking was TJ was able to use that Voltok so good, so I wasn't sure if they were ever going to switch off of it or if they might upgrade it to anything. I don't know how much I love the Shock placement, but we're going to have to see how it goes later in these rounds. They've only got 2 more to lose before they come away with an 0-1 deficit. Smokes out. Nobody picked up the Shock off of Rip either. There it goes. It's finally down. I was going to say, I thought they might throw it at their stairs trying to stop him from getting up top. HIVE has somebody in the entrance, that's Noe, but the Retro Lancer Dyslexic just shredded TJ. I mean, took him out back like a paper shredder and treated him like the printer from The Office, man. They stomped him out.
Dyslexic pushing through the fire and flames. Solar's now tough position. He will drop, and now F&I they've got a decision to make. Do they want to go for the OE, lock this in? It seems as if they're going to play around with it as player 7 looking to challenge onto TJ. It looks like off the spawn is going to be Inzem now into 1v1 against Fiercely. Actually, not a 1v1 as the rest of the cavalry is going to be there. Fiercely will get that final kill, and I think F&I is now going into defensive mode, something they should be doing at this point in time. If I'm Fiercely, I need to get over to my team. I'm counting numbers. HIVE has 3. They're pushing up onto streets, but as DJ falls, F&I might be okay here.
smokes are out. They know TJ's there because he's coughing in the smoke, but they don't really have a good way to push into this, does HIVE. You see him mounting all four up here. Solars might be able to watch the back. Nobody's going to be able to sneak over to that side of the map, and they actually had to rotate Inzem down to take a 1v1. So now Inzem might be able to rotate across the map, but instead he's going to bring himself back into this E fight. He's going to actually go through the mid cut here. Here he comes. He's going to try to catch somebody off guard. Fierce is going to have shots put onto him. Inzem needs a really good shot to try to put him down. They've got him a little red, but not much. TJ rotates back into the entrance as well. 2-1 hill advantage over to HIVE now. They're going to have to sit down on this and try to get this point lead in their favor to put the pressure on Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice is already mounted back up, and they have player 9 down there, TODO. He's going to be able to take that angle up to the entrance if everybody moves into that doorway. So I love the positioning Fire and Ice has. They just have to execute now. Maybe a smoke, maybe a flash out, try to get a stun, and then push up into their next retake.
You know, without that additional 5th player, we're seeing less and less flanks, right? It's kind of harder to do. We see a lot of people, you know, kind of go underground and maybe try and push over, but it doesn't seem as effective as before. More than likely, they end up just isolating themselves. Regardless, though, Fiercely does back up, goes in, gets a knock, but no, he's down. Solars is there for the pressure. Dyslexic not affected by the shock at all. Still trying to dance around. Goes for the pickup. I don't know about that one. I think he should just stay put. Instance there. Still a lot of chaos, and F&I actually might get out of here, but Exploits can't make it happen. He gets Lancer down low. Solars will clutch up and take him down as HIVE regains control. They've got the point lead and the win condition, and F&I's got a lone shot over towards F, and they really just don't have it in them. HIVE should be able to take this and tie it up 3-3.
They're going to come away with it in just a few more seconds. Like you said, 3-3. HIVE did a fantastic job of playing defense late in that round. One of the things that you spoke to, you don't see but so many flanks anymore. And when people go for it, the 2 times that HIVE or Fire and Ice overextended, HIVE ended up winning the 1v1s, which allowed them to play further defense. You saw Inzem win one in the mid round there, player number 5 coming down to his home hill and winning it off, winning that 1v1 down there at that incendiary, or down there at the incendiary now. And then later in the round, it was TJ in the middle pavilion area ends up winning a 1v1 and shuts really down the retake of Fire and Ice, because 4 versus 3 is never really going to go in your way unless somebody makes a catastrophic mistake.
Jocks, Ensigns on the map, looking a bit more familiar, right, than that we're used to seeing, especially coming from Split 1 in that 5v5. So I think both teams now are going to be a little bit more comfortable. The retro, though, isn't going to have any effect because it's not on the map. So now it's all about those Lancers, but those retros, I mean, they were hitting really hard. I'm curious to see if it's going to be beneficial or F&I at this point to go ahead and get that shock themselves. But we'll see, as now you can tell everything is really slowed down. The reason why is because both teams know, hey, we don't have that extra utility. At this point in time, HIVE would have already thrown the shock out and got onto the neutral and locked it in place. Now they know, hey, because the opposite team has a shock, we can't really do that. Meanwhile, though, F&I, they're going to be the first ones to try and go up there, bait out that shock, so now they have the shock in their favor. Now an instant, too. So at this point, F&I should be able to give it a good go onto E.
F&I loses a player due to TJ hitting a perfect incendiary. Exploits is going to come back in 1 second, but he's still coming off a spawn, but that's going to open things up for Solars to get inside of the entrance. Noe try to set up. The incendiary answers right back with a kill on a Noe, and now this is where Fire and Ice can push back up. Fire and Ice is going to be able to take this advantage going forward because they have the 4 versus 3. Solar gets the cap right there, and they can push up. Back end comes out, doesn't get the down yet on Solar's. Second one does, though. There's the down on him. TJ's going to answer back. Good trade by the side of HIVE. One more shot on the TODO. Can't get this down. Old teammates, by the way. It's Noe and TJ. But the flank of Fire and Ice is there just in the nick of time to shut it down.
Yeah, TJ was about to end TODO's life. Doesn't happen. Noah's going to go ahead and back off. He's a little bit worried that maybe Fiercely is going to press her forward. He's done it before, but it seems as if he's going to go ahead and stay put, close out this minor deficit, and take the point lead for the first time here in round number 7. Still a lot of round to be played. Solar's going to be underneath. TODO there for the angle. Kind of call him out, if you will, so the flank doesn't happen. TJ gets pressured. I'm telling you, man, Fiercely does not care. That's like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen him make that slide forward, and now Noe isolated out. Fiercely's going to go ahead and back off. I like that. No reason to chase a kill.
None whatsoever. They've got a point lead here. It's going to get that much harder for HIVE to come back. They're going to have to just fly, try to probably put themselves in a bad situation by trying to get into a fight early. Flashes out. Noe tries to do a little wall cancel there, come into that next fight. A lot of shots on the fears, and TJ doesn't die to that incendiary. He does go down, though. Noe's there for the decap, I believe. They lose TJ on the back end. First shot is perfect. Noe backs off still. The shock is there to stop him from getting the cap. Solars is on the flank now. Solars trying to make something happen, but he goes down, gets taken out. E-Hill's not going to be capped up, and I believe it's too little too late. Enzem is going to have to go huge at the F-Hill and win a 2v1. Noe's going to have to stop that hill from getting recapped, and I just don't believe it's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, especially with Enzem dying right there. 4-3. We're going to see ourselves a round number 8 to try to go to a round 9 for HIVE, or Fire and Ice can win a back-to-back and take a 1-0 map advantage.
Yeah, that flank from Solars, I mean, if he picks it off, makes it happen, like that would have been probably the round for HIVE. I don't know. They would have been in a lot better position, but that's a lot to ask for anybody. You know, I don't care how good you are. Going in on that flank 1v2, it's just a tough fight to take. In the end, though, FNI still holds on. This is, after all, their map pick. We knew coming into this map that they were going to be favored given how they played on ASILO whenever it came to split 1. Seems as if it's a bit more competitive, but the same result leading the charge. The stable's out. We knew it was going to be there. And of course, it has to be answered back. Get the shock out of the way. Better your chances to getting to a round 9. That'd be our first round 9 of the night. Our first round 9 is split 2. Just to kind of say that as it literally is just underway. Regardless, though, let's see what happens here. HIVE, they got a long mountain to climb. Let's see if they can do so.
I think what they have to do, double locks out. What they have to do is just be a little bit more aggressive. When they were aggressive on the train tracks, they were able to win those fights, and that's exactly what they did. They put 3 shotguns into the area. Dyslexic pulls all the way back. Noe's there. There's the incendiary out. He's going to get the kill on Noe, and there's the second shot in, gets the kill. They pulled up at the entrance and put themselves in a position to die, rather than continuing to get those pushes and those kills to come through. You maybe push up, you maybe make him throw a little bit of a panic incendiary rather than an easy one on the hill, and now you're fighting back against the tide. A couple of downs come through on Exploits, but they're not going to be able to get that kill. Just a bunch of damage. One more down, and I think they can get one of them to be out. The up A doesn't come through for HIVE either. They're going to get shut down. Fire and Ice with a brilliant retake already. They're going to come away with this initial, I believe.
I think they might commit for this push. They might just go for it, especially, yeah, TJ's going to fall. Great win from Dyslexic. Noe last up, and yeah, Fire and Ice doing exactly what I thought they were going to do. They're pushing up. Might as well. You have 3 down, and that's the thing about 4v4. You get 3 down, even though you have unlimited respawns, man. You already know the enemy team's going to be all up in your grill. But hey, maybe they get out of it. Look at Noe popping off, picks up 2. And that's going to be a great position now for HIVE to turn the tides, and not a moment too soon. Look, they didn't really lose a lot. Fire and Ice committed pretty much everything there. And HIVE, yeah, they're down about 30 or 40 points, but they're going to have map positioning once again, and they're going to have the objective unless Fire and Ice can push them back. TODO is looking to do just that, and he might do it. Look at this, shooting fish in a barrel. His rest of his teammates coming up, and that's already 3 down again. And FNI business as usual, just like they were before. They're already going for the overextension for the domination.
Flash out by Enzem, trying to stop this wave, and now he's got 3 in front of him. Pistol, Lancer, every weapon possible being pulled out on Enzem and putting him down. They're going to get the decap here. They've got to not just fight off of this hill push. They've got to come away with every single one of these kills. They have to be able to push back. You can see player 3, Noe's going to get caught out and taken down, but he's going to stop this push. Look at Fiercely. He's going to be able to stack up and wait for the next push from Fire and Ice, or excuse me, from HIVE. And Fire and Ice is going to be able to continue to play defense. It's not going to be that big of a deal for them. They've already crossed past that 200-point threshold, and this looks like it's going to be all wrapped up at this point.
This is the fight. HIVE needs to win it, and if they don't, they are going to lose this round. TODO, big elimination onto TJ. Now forces themselves in a 1v2, drops 1, Solars falls. It's the huge 1v3, and TODO will make it happen, and that all but locks it up for FNI to take Asylum 5-3 and lead in this series. The beatdown is there. Colin, take it over.
Kicking him in the kidney, peeing blood. That's not healthy. Kilo judgment spared. Oh, God.